I'm starting out this message from such an apprehensive and self-protective energy. I'm tapping into, like, even the way I'm like wanting to hold this pillow, like have some sort of barrier. I'm tapping into somebody who is just about to be pushed out of their comfort zone and into a space that feels like I'm getting imposter syndrome. Okay, where do I even begin with this? What I'm really feeling is we need to take a breath together for a second. Full permission for you to be in your body at this point. Full permission for you to check in with yourself. There's a tender rewriting of some very deep past wounds. And I mean, I know enough already with the shadow work, right? Haven't we just had a year of this? But this has a different vibe to it because I feel like you're speaking to yourself differently. And I feel like instead of pushing yourself into discomfort, and like I'm getting that sensation of like you're like being pushed into the pool when you're not ready to get in yet. Ooh, it's time to let go of the pillow. All right, we're coming out of our shell, coming out of my cage, and I'll be doing just fine. Anyway, it's like as soon as you soften with yourself, you feel so much more powerful. As soon as you give yourself permission to be vulnerable, you like expand in some way into the fullness of yourself. I'm seeing like somebody who was like shrunk and like pulled their aura in around themselves, and from like having that seed of self permission, you just go like boom, and like it's an instant expansion. It's like, oh, I'm gonna take up space now. Here I am. This is actually how big I actually am, and like boom, and your energy field is just like boom, 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 like massive. And this is coming from the softness. It's like, oh, this was coming through before. Okay, thank you for reminding me. It's like the difference between Miss Honey and Miss Trunchbull in Matilda, where they're both like teachers and they're both feminine energies, but obviously Miss Trunchbull is like terrifying, bully, like overbearing, etc., etc., and like Miss Honey is this opposite energy of softness, of allowing, of like, you know, nurturing each individual child that's in her care. And it's that kind of energy for you within yourself that you have started to uncover, unearth a new way of nurturing yourself, a new way of speaking to yourself that is much more embodied in the Miss Honey energy than it is in the Miss Trunchbull, which you may have been for your whole life far more comfortable with, even though you probably wouldn't have necessarily identified with that energy. It's just like, it's almost like you were so strict and so harsh with yourself, but like you were so casual about it. You're like, oh yeah, no, that's just, it's like you had this judgment that was so like harsh or rigid, or in some way it was too much, or like coming more from like a fear based, but there was like a blind spot around it, where you were like, no, this is how I speak to myself, these are my standards, this is how I show up in the world. And like you had that level of self expectation and also expectation of others to some degree as well, that did not leave any room for softness, because I think in the past you had equated softness with weakness, with, yeah, like with being ineffective in some way or being defective in some way. And largely that was probably a learned pattern. That's not really something that we come into the world thinking. So regardless of wherever you picked it up along the way, it served you for the time, and then now you've come to this space of just like somehow being able, like being soft with yourself. I'm feeling mirrors might be significant here. Roses might be significant. I'm feeling like you've been almost like, maybe you've been doing some sort of mirror magic or working with mirrors in a new way. But also I just feel like you're seeing someone different when you look in the mirror, or you're like speaking to yourself differently. There's like this reflection that is shifting and changing, an internal reflection that is somehow simultaneously shifting your perception of your external reflection. Like maybe you are changing physically at this time, but maybe it's just how you're seeing yourself is now more clear, and like it's able to perceive more of the beauty that you are. This is feeling, this whole message is feeling very like there's this sort of undercurrent of like this sensual energy, like borderline sultry, but it's not super sexual. It's feeling very like, yeah, just very sensual, very soft, and very like late night chats, you know? Pillow talk. It's feeling very pillow talk. Not, again, not in a sexual way, just like in like almost like girlfriends out together at a sleepover, or like even like chatting with your partner late at night or something. But it's like it's very friendship based and very like slumber party vibes. Anyways, I feel like you've loosened the reins on your self-judgment and on your judgment of others. And I feel like there's also this rising energy within you of, it's like there is patience with yourself and with others that is also allowing you to step into the space of you're no longer willing to be rushed. You're no longer willing to be hurried along. And you're no longer willing to make yourself smaller. You're actually fully like starting to feel how it feels to move in the world at your full size, at your full expanded capacity, at your like magnitude. Like I'm talking like energetically here, more so. Like it's like you're just like your aura is feeling so umphy, so solid, and so present. It feels tangible. It feels like it feels solid and it feels tangible. Ooh, it's completely escaped. There was the imposter syndrome. And I think the depth of that wound is coming from a space of mixed messages when you were young. Like it's almost as if I'm picking up on this energy of you received different messages from your family, from inside the home, from your peers, from your school experience, pardon me, and also from within yourself. There was this discongruence, there was this like mismatch between incongruence between, oh okay, the messages that you were, so for example, in your home life you may have received things, like you might have received verbiage along the lines of how, you know, brilliant you are, how excellent you are, how good you are at this, that, or the other. So there was something you excelled at, and it was like hammed up. It was like, it, at the same time you were made to feel excellent, but you also, I think, had this tandem energy of almost like a lack of emotional support, or like you only got recognition when you were being excellent, or you only got like attention when you were living up to that standard of the excellence that you had drilled into you the whole time. You're excellent at this, you're like such a brilliant musician, you're so great at sports, you're like such an, you know, academic learner, whatever it is. And you almost got like typecast inside your own family, where you felt very trapped inside that stereotype of, at the same time you felt like you couldn't be anything other than excellent, because it was the only way that you were getting fed attention and fed emotionally, was by attaining that excellence, and then getting like drip fed this attention through like, oh, I'm excellent, oh wow, you're excellent. But then like it was like when you were struggling, there was nothing, there was no support. When you were lonely, there was nothing. And you didn't feel like, it was almost like the excellence trapped you into not being able to ask for help, because you didn't want to be seen as anything other than excellent. And so it like created this sort of feeling inside you of like, like this could go a lot of different ways. This could go, actually it can manifest a lot of different ways, but it could have been, for example, like feeling like you always have to overperform in order to be loved. It's a very classic one. Or feeling like you as a human being are not worthy of love. You have to be producing something. It's another one. Or it could have been, you know, like I'm not allowed to ask for help. I'm not safe to ask for help. Or the feeling of I'm on my own. There's so many different like twists and turns that this could have taken for you, but either way, like all of that has like, there, it's like for the most part that has been transmuted and is being transmuted, I'm getting so hot, is being transmuted through how you speak to yourself now, and through like, it's like whenever you start a new endeavor now, instead of having the voice and the script running inside your head of like, we can do this, this is going to be great, and like here's all the plan that we have, and like almost like that real like old school kind of like coach or like fitness person, instructor, who's like squat lower, go harder, just 10 more reps, you know, like, and like it's kind of encouragement, but almost from like an abusive place, like borderline. And like, well, I'm like, oh, I'm taking it to the extreme, like calling it abusive, but like, you know, it's from that kind of same energy, it's from that same mistrustful energy. And so, oh, where was I going with that? Shoot. Either way, it feels like there's this transmutation of that kind of way of speaking to yourself, to where now when you're starting to begin something and you're nervous, it's like, wow, you're making space for those nerves. You're not being like, there's no reason to be nervous, or you're not trying to like delete the nerves. You're not trying to push past the nerves. You're not trying to deny the fact that the nerves are there. There's no repression. That's what it is. There's no repression, and there's no shame. It's like the repression and the shame, you've somehow disarmed them. To where now you have this like soft Miss Honey internal voice of like, you start something new, you feel the nerves, and you're like, oh, it's totally fine that you're nervous. That's so natural that you feel that way. I'm right here with you. And then you're like, oh, somebody's got my back. And you feel like you kind of perk up and you feel like, I'm supported. And it's not even like you have, I'm not feeling like this is like, it's not even an external person who's like cheering you on. You're not even looking for external validation. It's like you found this little internal system of like, oh, this is how it feels to love myself. This is how it feels to support myself. And this is how it feels to be really mentally, emotionally healthy and strong going into something. It's not by deleting the nerves, it's by embracing them and welcoming them and allowing them to be there. You know, it's not by trying to like rise above and like be excellent. It's like you're just allowing so much more of yourself to be online. And like the parts of yourself, like I said, that were previously, you were previously mistyping as weakness, you're now like, welcome to the family. Welcome in nerves, you know? Even like, welcome in guilt, welcome in shame. You are welcome here. Like, let me hold you, you know? Like, there's this integration. It's so, I wanted to say it's so sexy, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I celebrate that. I just celebrate that, okay? Ooh, I feel like I'm losing my voice. Hold on, let me get a drink. Okay, I'm back. So wow. Anyway, you're amazing. Okay, you're amazing. What can I say? But I kind of feel like you've been through this journey from like, it's like when you were a child, you knew who you were, and then because you got these mirrors of like, oh, maybe that's not who I am, or like this is not how other people see me, or maybe I need to shift myself in order to be accepted. Um, it's like your inner voice or like your inner truth sort of like went inward a little bit, and you sort of started to like, you know, take on these other personas, these other identities, and somehow you like went from like real deep truth and knowing through this incredible journey of learned doubt. Okay, so you like went from deep inner knowing and truth through the portal of doubt, and it led you on this winding path, and you discovered so much. And this, you're going to use this to teach at some point in the future, whether you like are going to be like doing this like on a global scale, or just with, you know, like your children, your family, like just with the people that are around you. At some point, this, you have been gifted this journey and this doubt in order to like be a light for others in the world. Doubt, and now you've like come through the doubt, out the other side, back again to unshakable faith and to deep truth, deep self-recognition, knowing. And ooh, there's something here, there's something here. There was like such a similar energy that I channeled through recently, and it was all about okay, so there's two things coming through. The first is like you're moving away from the mode in your life where you ask yourself questions, or you ask questions of the world, such as like, what am I doing with my life? Like, what is my purpose? Am I good enough? Am I beautiful? Am I acceptable? What do I have to do to be seen? What do I have to do to show up correctly in the world? You're moving away from this this questioning, doubt-based frequency into the energy now of proclamation, into the energy of deep knowing and claiming something. So it's like questions come up for you, and they still will. And doubt is supernatural. It's such a natural thing to come up. But you're no longer like living from there as your home. Where you're living from now is a space of like, I am enough. This is what I'm doing with my life. I claim it. I proclaim it. I decide it. You speak truth over your life. You know, you speak miracles into reality, and you speak like there's like a definition here within your energy of like, you define what is in your life. So mote it be, you know, you are proclaiming it. It's no longer a case of like, will I or won't I? It's I choose. And that is such an empowered state to be in. And who would have thought that it would be birthed from the softness rather than from the strictness? And I think it's just this like, it's this turning of like an understanding where all your life you thought that in order to be successful or to like make headway or to whatever, you had to maneuver from a specific energy. And then as soon as you dropped that energy and moved into softness, the very thing that you feared the most, the very thing that was the most terrifying to you, it's like that was the key all along. That was the golden compass all along, was your like, the fear held, you know, the truth within it. The fear held the like, it was the absolutely pivotal thing that like shifted everything. I'm blown away. You're so magical. What was the other thing coming through? No longer asking, proclaiming. Oh yes, the journey through invocation to affirmation, and even like towards like confirmation. And like the thing about affirmations, and the reason why so many of us have a problem with affirmations, they feel stupid, they feel icky, you know, they feel like, I don't really even believe that. Like, I feel like I'm so stupid when I'm saying this thing that I don't even believe. And like, we all work with affirmations on different levels. So some of us do require like a lower entry bar into affirmations, if you know what I mean. Like, as soon as you've got a little bit of momentum under your belt, and as soon as you've like bought in to a certain degree, like affirmations become a little bit easier. But if you're so used to being self-critical, being self-judgmental, and like really just living from a different lens, where you don't think that everything is possible for you, where you don't live in abundance, where you don't see the possibilities, affirmations feel stupid, okay? And with you'll either resonate with this or you won't, and that's totally fine either way. But like, the thing with affirmations is that if you want to move your way towards an affirmation becoming like true in your life, you have to start somewhere. So I think the case of lowering the bar, I'm trying to make this as like the understanding is there, but what I'm mastering is translation. So let me try and translate. For example, the affirmation, I am enough, okay? That might come from a place of you don't feel like you're enough. And so if you don't feel like you're enough, repeating to yourself, I am enough, I am enough, I am enough. For some people, that's going to work, and it's going to get drilled in, and it's just going to be repetition, and they're going to like have little enough resistance that they start to believe it over time. For some people, it's going to have the opposite effect, where it makes you feel even more not enough. I can't believe I'm the kind of person who has to tell myself that I'm enough. Wow, how not enough do I have to be in order to give myself this kind of affirmation, right? Or like, you'll have this like double mental dialogue with yourself coming alongside the affirmation, which is not the point of the affirmation. So you kind of need to switch it into verbiage that will make your brain like understand it, digest it, and be able to like take it in, assimilate it in a little bit less of a stressful manner, so that you don't feel like you're just trying to gaslight yourself into being a different person, so that you don't feel like you're just trying to lie to yourself and you're like, I'm lying to myself because I know I don't feel like I'm enough. And this affirmation is changing F all at this point. So the higher your resistance is to feeling that state or being in that state, like the lower you have to like lower the entry level of like getting, like we'll all get there, but we each need to sort of start the journey couch to 5K kind of styles. Like, we're all at different levels of fitness here, okay? Doesn't mean that one is any better than the other. Anyway, it's like bringing up another message. Oh, I could go on 100 tangents. So the way to lower the bar for the I am enough is kind of to switch the wording into like, it could be anything from like, I'm ready to believe that I am enough. Okay, that's much softer, that's much more easy, that's much more palatable, and that feels more like a resonant truth in our body than I am enough. Or it could be like, let me see if I can think of another example because my brain is like, oh, right now. It is safe for me to let go of the belief that I am not enough. Something like that, okay? There's other ways that we can work with affirmations to sort of build our way towards the like simplest, purest form of it, if you want to think of it like that. And eventually, the more that we move through this process, like the statement I am enough is just like, at some point that's going to feel like a super casual thing to say to yourself, but it might not be at the start. At the start it's like, oh my god, like whole body revulsion, your whole body like rejects it, you know, and then that causes even more tension, and then like it's not actually getting you closer towards feeling like enough, it's actually making you feel like less than enough. I hope I've made my point and like some level of translation has managed to occur. Anyway, that was the other like tandem kind of thing that was coming through for me, with the lines of like, you've moved through doubt into like certainty, into surety of yourself, into proclamation of your life. And also there has like, this is also like a tandem path in order to like sort of attain in your life through that affirmation or proclamation method. You don't have to skip right to the end, like proclamation, affirmation, whatever other people say is the affirmation. Like, find a way to make it feel soft and land in your body and work for you. And over time, the layers will be stripped away. Like, over time, it will move and soften and like become more firm. Like, an affirmation is to make something become firm. Get your mind out of the gutter. It's that time of night. Okay, it's witching hour. I wanted to read you a letter that I wrote, but we're 27 minutes deep right now, and like, how do I be yapping like this on like pretty much a daily basis? I don't know. You guys know that, like, well, you don't know this, but I will only yap if I feel safe. If I feel like I'm in a safe space, I will yap happily. I'm a happy yapper, okay? And like, if I'm yapping with you, it's like, you've like, you're in the golden like circle kind of thing. Like, I don't just be yapping to anyone, okay? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Your energy blows me away. Wow. Okay. The card that came out was Fierce Positivity, and this is like, look, it's such a Miss Honey card. I'm trying to like not be in the shadow. Fierce positivity, only in the light. Look at those gorgeous flowers. Oh, the sunflowers. Fate versus destiny on the bottom, like, and the key. Come on. This is a new deck. I really connect to the artwork in this deck. I do not connect to the like explanations so far in the guidebook, but maybe there's something interesting in here. It's number 35. Fierce positivity, okay? That's like, this card is like my spirit animal. Okay, beliefs, releasing your fears. Come on now. Better days, seeing your fear for what it is. Literally. Surrendering any unsolvable problems over to spirit. We've been talking about that. We've talked about that in a few of our messages. I feel like I was speaking about that in my last message, which actually I ended up calling Chicken Joe Chicken Jim. So if you saw that, video, I'm sure someone will correct me at some point. Oh my god. If you're feeling afraid, fatigued, and without options, this card reminds you of your incredible power to envision a new reality. I'm just gonna leave it there because that's incredible. That's so good. Like, yeah, it's just like, it's a whole new dawning, it's a whole new day, and like, oh, you're so equipped. You're doing so well. You've done so much incredible work. And like, even though I was kind of joking about like the shadow work at the start of the message, like I don't necessarily feel like this is like a full-on shadow work era for us. Like, I really don't. I feel like so much of the foundation has been laid at this point that from now on it's like, yeah, it's just like that acceleration I'm feeling. Like, oh my god, finally the slog, like the groundwork and the slog has been done to the point where now things can finally take off, things can finally lift. Oh, thank god. Hallelujah. Anyway, I'm yapping again, so I better leave it there because I could just keep going and going. I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm so pleased we're friends. It's like such an understatement. I'm just blown away. I'm blown away by you. And I'm having so much fun. And I'm really gonna go now, okay? I'm really gonna go. No, you hang up first. You hang up first, okay? Oh my god. And I'll read you my letter another time because I know you're dying to hear it, okay? I know you are. Yeah, no, I'm definitely losing the plot now, so I better go. You're the best. Keep shining, sunshine. You're incredible. You're doing amazing. You're phenomenal, okay? In case nobody told you lately. And tell it to yourself in the mirror too, okay? Check out your booty while you're at it. Okay, I'm really gonna go now. Ta-ra. See you next time.